Join us now as we look back at the way we were. Retro America.
There was a sound we don't hear anymore. The soft crackle and snap of a paper map being unfolded across the dashboard. Not a voice from a screen, not a satellite telling us where to turn. Just paper, creased 100 times over, showing us the red line that stretched from Chicago to Santa Monica. We called it Route 66, the Mother Road. And before the Interstates came and straightened everything out, it was the only way west that mattered.
You didn't need much. A full tank, a cooler packed with bologna sandwiches wrapped in wax paper, maybe a thermos of coffee that your mother filled before sunrise.
The car was a vessel, a '58 Bel Air with chrome so thick it caught the sun like a mirror. Or maybe it was the family station wagon, wood-paneled with the back seat that faced the road behind you. Either way, you were in it for the long haul. Windows down, engine humming, the whole country rolling past at 55 miles an hour.
There were no screens to watch, no podcasts to stream, just the rhythm of the road and whatever voices came crackling through that single dashboard speaker. Sometimes it was news from cities you'd never visit. Sometimes it was a preacher from a station so far away you wondered how the signal even reached you. And sometimes, if you were lucky, it was Nat King Cole, his voice smooth as the ribbon of asphalt beneath your wheels, singing about getting your kicks on Route 66. The song competed with the wind, always the wind, rushing through those cranked-down windows because air conditioning was a luxury most of us didn't have.
You could smell everything. Sagebrush, diesel from the trucks that rumbled past, the faint char of someone's overheated brakes on a long downhill grade.
The heat was real, not something you adjusted with a button. It pressed down through the windshield. It radiated up from the floorboards. And when you stopped, when your father pulled into a Texaco or a Phillips 66 for gas, you'd peel your legs off that vinyl bench seat, that sharp, stinging pull of skin against hot plastic. You'd stand in the shade of the station awning while the attendant, always an attendant, checked the oil and washed the windshield.
The chrome bumper caught everything. The reflection of clouds, the shimmer of heat, the face of your younger brother making faces at his own distorted image. Towns came and went. Some barely qualified as towns at all. A diner, a motor court, a filling station with the Coca-Cola machine out front that dispensed bottles for a dime.
We stopped when we were hungry, not because an app told us where the nearest restaurant was. We stopped because there was a sign, hand-painted, promising the world's best pie. And inside, on a spinning stool at a Formica counter, you'd order a milkshake so thick the straw stood straight up. Vanilla, chocolate, strawberry if you were feeling adventurous.
The waitress knew everyone by their first name, or pretended to. She refilled your father's coffee without asking. She called you honey, even though she'd never seen you before, and never would again.
By late afternoon, the sun sat low and red on the hood. Your mother would check the map, tracing the route with her finger, counting the miles to the next town with a place to sleep.
The map never folded back quite right. The creases went soft from being opened and closed, the edges frayed, but it always got you where you needed to be.
As dusk came on, you'd start watching for the glow, that electric hum of neon signs flickering to life against the purple sky.
Motor courts lined the road like promises, each one with its own character. The Wigwam Village, the Blue Swallow, the El Rancho. And when you found one with a vacancy sign still lit, not no vacancy, which meant you'd have to keep driving, your father would pull in, tires crunching over the gravel parking lot.
The office smelled like cigarettes and old carpet. There was a bell on the counter that you weren't supposed to ring, but always did. The room key was attached to a heavy plastic tag with the room numbers stamped in gold. Number 7, number 12. It didn't matter. They were all the same. Twin beds with chenille bedspreads, a black rotary phone on the nightstand, a window that looked out onto the parking lot and the neon glow. You'd fall asleep to the sound of cars passing on the highway, the occasional rumble of a truck shifting gears, the electric buzz of the neon sign just outside the window. In the morning, you'd wake to the smell of coffee brewing somewhere, the sound of car doors slamming, engines turning over, other families beginning their own long drives west. Your father would check the map one more time. Your mother would repack the cooler, and you'd climb back into that car, legs sticking to the vinyl, even in the cool of morning. The road waited. It always waited. 2 lanes of possibility, stretching toward something you couldn't quite see yet, but knew was out there. Because that's what Route 66 was. Not the fastest way, not the most efficient, but the way that lets you see America at the speed it was meant to be seen. The way that lets you feel the distance between where you started and where you were going. The way that reminded you that getting there was never really the point. By the time you reached the Pacific, you'd crossed 8 states. You'd slept in a dozen different beds. You'd seen the desert bloom and the mountains rise, and the cities give way to empty land that went on forever. And somewhere along the way, that map became more than just paper. It became a record, a proof that you'd been somewhere, that you'd done something, that you'd taken the long way and been better for it. The Interstates came eventually. They promised speed, efficiency, the ability to cross the country without ever seeing it. And we took them, because time became something we couldn't afford to waste. But Route 66 is still there, pieces of it anyway, cracked and faded, bypassed and forgotten. The motor courts are mostly gone, the diners have closed, the neon signs have gone dark. But if you know where to look, you can still find them, still see them the way they were. And if you close your eyes, you can still hear it. The crackle of the radio, the hum of the engine, the sound of that map unfolding one more time. Because Route 66 wasn't just a road. It was the way we traveled when the journey itself was the destination. So tell us, what car were you riding in, and who was sitting beside you on your first great trip west?